is if I do this and this and this and this, okay, it can be religious. If I study the scriptures, if I say my prayers, I'm going to do this. Or it can be if I eat this way and I exercise this way and I do this way, then this will be the result, and it's possible. But what happens when we do this and this and this, and the result is negative, okay? Because in my opinion, that's what happened to Job. At least that's what the scriptures say, right? He was a righteous man. So, yoga teaches to do the right things without being tied to the result or the reward. Now, I don't know, that's really hard as a human. Because I'm like, no, I want to do this and this, and I want the reward. And there's always going to be one. There's always going to be a reward, okay? But we don't be tied to it. That's what yoga teaches us, okay? And I love that. I love that, okay? But I love this week in studying just this idea that it's okay to also ask questions. And it's okay to have moments of shake your fist, and it's okay to have moments of, oh, I trust, okay? And that we need to have them both. And that we need to be okay with other people having both. Because there we get a little judgy. So as we practice today, okay, go ahead and pause again. Hold totally still. Hold your feet still. Close your eyes. Take a couple of really deep breaths. Follow them with a couple of audible H-A-Ha exhales. Yeah, letting go. Everything we experience with these bodies. They are beautiful. They are gifts. Now just smooth out the breath. The inhale and the exhale. You can still do an audible exhale, but instead of a, it can be a, letting that breath be a part. Finding that moment where you really are connected. You'll have other things happen. You'll have chaos. I can hear talking out in the hall at the front desk, right? That is going to happen. Being okay with letting it go. Regardless of what happens, we get to choose how we think, how we act, what we do. Even if you're using a numbing technique, whatever that is, maybe it's watching a movie, maybe it's reading a book. There's nothing wrong with watching a movie or reading a book. Maybe it's playing a game. Maybe it's, I just was with a friend yesterday sitting and staring out the window. Maybe that's what it is. Being okay with that as you determine what you are feeling, the experience you're having. So I'd like you to breathe. And I'd like you to find something in your life. Okay, we've used this before. We haven't done it for a while. It can be I am enough. It can be I am whole. It can be I am happy. I am grateful. Doesn't even need to be I am. It can be one that I love, that is yoga, is so hum. And it means it's all that. Okay? It's everything's okay. It's all that. The good, the bad. I learn from both. So whatever the inhale, when you do so hum, is So, and then maybe it's I am happy. Maybe it's I am healthy. If we've got 2 broken ribs that are healing. I am healed, or I am healing. I'm going to have you a couple times today during class come back to that mantra. I am whatever. Peaceful. I am here. I've often done one with Jesus Christ, the inhale, the exhale. I can do all things. It can be anything. You get to choose. Sometimes when I first started doing this kind of work, it was like, I don't know what to say. What do I say? Just let. If a suggestion comes, maybe it's going to be inhale and exhale. I can breathe. It can be that simple, okay? That's what we're looking for. And then go ahead, continuing with your eyes closed, begin moving. I turned that heat off, but it is warm still in here. And then start moving, wiggling, keeping the eyes closed. There is no right or wrong, so you don't need to look at me and see what I'm doing and copy what I'm doing. But just start wiggling. Would you let an inhale open up through the heart and let an exhale close? So that there is this physicality of opening and closing. To me, this is very symbolic of, I don't get this, help me understand. And, I trust in thee, right? It's very much just this opportunity. Maybe you take some twists. Maybe you just wiggle through the shoulders, wiggle through the hips, wiggle through the neck. So you're just really finding, where are you today? And then start coming into a cat-cow, where the spine is opening and closing, which is here, this is the extension, contraction behind, and then this contracts, and that expands. So do that a couple more times, just forward and back. Okay, we're going to talk about those oppositions, those opposites. And to me, the opposite of, why is this happening, versus, I will trust in thee, those are opposites. They're both what we're meant to do. We're meant to do both things. Go ahead and let the waistline go right, contract, open up. Come this way, contract, open up. So come back and forth that way a couple of times. Using an elbow if you want. We know that the elbow is going to help lift the ribs a little higher. That's one of the best things you can do for having had an injury, a rib injury. Now, take your body till it's a 45 going this way to your right, okay? And then we're going to contract and expand at that angle. Look at the spine cooperating with us, right? Inhale and exhale. Maybe the inhale is here and the exhale is here. Try them both ways. Inhale, curled over, expanding into the back. Exhale, opening up. Good morning. Good morning. Inhale and exhale, and then pause and inhale here, open and exhale. And inhale and exhale. And then come back to center, come here. Which way did you like better? The inhale open, the exhale here, or the inhale here? Think about it. We have 80% of our breath capacity is actually in our backs. What? We're just inhale open and exhale close. So when you come back, Sylvia, we kind of came up with a mantra. A mantra is just some words that we say over and over again, okay? It can be I am enough. It can be I am whole. It can be I love me, right? So it would be I love me. Okay, it can be anything. So I want you to just pick one. We've talked about a few. And then one more time, inhale, open, and exhale, close. And then just come back to center and notice how your body feels. Okay, your hands, they can come back behind you. Okay, the tendency here is the shoulders roll forward. So if you'll bend your elbows, you can pull the shoulders back. And that's what we want. And then you can kind of straighten them, but keep them a little bent. If that right up on the chair feels too intense, drop it. We have a whole chair. We can come down here and find that same thing. Okay, plant the feet, push down and forward. You won't move. If I push really hard, my chair will move because it's not on a mat. That's why your chairs are on mats. Engaging the legs. You should feel the back of the thighs. You can feel the front of the thighs. Okay, open it up. Inhale. Now, without moving the body, take a deep inhale. Exhale, just tighten the waistline. Yeah, don't move out of this open pose. Exhale, just feel like a corset got put on and somebody's pulling the strings behind you. Inhale out. Pull those corset strings. Tighten the waistline. Squeeze it in. Inhale out. Tighten the waistline. Squeeze it in. And then release. Notice the work that went on in the core. Okay. And did you feel that in your backs? Yes. Good. Because we're also working the back. Okay. One of the things that often you do if you're doing ab work is you'll lie on your back and you'll do these crunches, right? Okay. One of the problems with it is that we overwork all of this and we don't work this. Okay, when we do it this way and we make this tighten, go ahead and bring your hands right to your ribs. Find your floating ribs, okay? Your fingers will be a little bit apart, okay? Inhale and make that expand. Make your fingers widen. You're not doing this. This is widening. So go. Feel those ribs and now tighten. See if you can touch the fingers. I'm not going like this with my hands, right? I'm tightening the ribs. Inhale and exhale. There is a transverse abdominis, okay? It goes around. There's fascia in the back, and it comes all the way around. And there's a little bit of fascia in the front. And then if you've had a C-section, you've been cut. Open and open and come back to your mantra. I am whole. I am happy. It's all that. So hum, whatever your mantra was. And then release. Notice that your shoulders got some work just on holding that position, okay? Pick your right arm up, take it across. Now, you're not letting your knee pull in, okay? You're leaving it, it's pushing out into that hand. This hand comes here, the shoulder comes up and around. So you're already kind of twisted, just setting up that shoulder. And then go ahead and use both hands. Again, don't let the knee move. Push into the knee. Oh, just revolve. This knee can come forward if you want it to. So we are really trying to twist, not twist. Twist right from the tailbone, letting the ribs go. The last thing that goes is the head, to try and look back, but not strain. And then release the hands, try to hold it there, tighten the waistline. Take a deep inhale, lengthen up. And on the exhale, tighten the waistline again, and come all the way back and around. And then just wiggle. Sometimes we can get a little too aggressive, and you might feel a little bit of a place between the rib cage that it's like, oh, that's a little sore and a little tender, okay? So notice that. If you find one of those, if you have somebody around that can actually massage that out, or just stick a knuckle right where it is, or a thumb, and you can kind of wiggle to it. If you've had ribs that have been damaged, you're going to find some of these places. If you've had a little bit of a cracked rib or a bruised rib, okay, and you're going to want to find it, kind of go, oh, look, there's a little place that's kind of tender, right? And you're just going to move and breathe to that spot, increasing blood flow to it, okay? I've got one right back in here that came playing pickleball on Monday, and I'm like, And it's sometimes an overuse, sometimes just a little pull, all sorts of different things. Take your left hand, bring it up, okay? The knee doesn't pull in. We push into that. This other hand comes, shoulder goes up and around. So we've already created a little bit of a twist. Let this knee, just let it slide a little forward so that you really are twisting through the entire spine. Holding, breathing. Go ahead and inhale, lengthen. Can you find your mantra again? Exhale, tighten the waistline. Inhale. Now we've been just tightening the waistline. There's actually one more thing we can add on to this. We'll do it in a minute. Inhale, release your hands. Yeah, that's muscle holding me in place. And then I'm coming back around. We could do this. Go ahead and wiggle. This is more of a, notice you get deeper and deeper and deeper. This is more of a reflex, thank you. And it's more of a just, once we're in motion, it's easier to stay in motion. Okay. Pause. Okay. Now, there's one more thing when we're talking about our core that is really important. Easier for women than men to access, okay? Because we have babies. Sorry, guys. Okay. But you want to lift the pelvic floor. We've talked about it before, okay? The pelvic floor is a muscle. It kind of mirrors the diaphragm. You remember the diaphragm is like a big mushroom. It's a muscle that all of the fibers run this way towards center. So if you look at it, it looks like a jellyfish when it's pulling up, okay? So the pelvic floor mirrors it, but it attaches to those sit bones, to the pubic bone, and to the tailbone. Well, not really to the tailbone, but that's where it kind of attaches around. And so as we lift that pelvic floor, we are trying to lift it up, to lengthen. So it's almost like, this is the best analogy. You can come up with another one if you can think of one. You've seen your wives, or you've crocheted. Where you take a crochet hook through the loop, catch the thread and pull it back, right? That's what we're doing. I want you to take from let's go from the back. The crochet hook's going down through the back. I'm sorry, that might be a little painful. Come down through the pelvic floor, grab the thread and pull it back up. You're like, what? Yeah. That's so random. I don't get this. Okay. But I really want you to think, there is an opening, right, in the pelvic floor. You're sticking the loop, the hook down through, catching the thread and pulling it back up. As we pull it back up, it tightens and lifts. As we pull it back up, not only do we lift, it is the perfect elimination, healthy exercises for the elimination system. But you're also, once you pull up, you'll start to feel this low belly, and then you'll start to feel the upper belly. And you can actually feel the ribs, a part of that. So you're just trying to lift the pelvic floor up. Maybe.
We call it a Kegel. Is that a Kegel?
A Kegel is just to tighten that and release it. This is lifting it up. So that, yes, it's similar. And sometimes people will teach it that way. But to teach it that way is really not teaching what it is. Yeah, it's just an opening and closing, stopping. Okay, does that make sense? So we're going to work on this today, okay? We have to talk about it in this kind of detail to get it, okay? Now, a lot of times, okay, I want you to do this. You've all got a ball on your chair somewhere. I want you to take it and put it on your chair. And I'd like you to sit your pelvic floor on that ball. I will wash them. Okay? Okay. It might not feel very pleasant. Oh! Now try to pull the muscle up and away from the ball. Yeah? Can you feel the bone? The sit bones do this. They pull in. Yeah? Pull up. Try to go as tall as you can, getting away from that ball. Yes? And then release. Come back in one more time. Pull it up. Lift up and away. Notice the low belly. It tightens. Yes. Feel the rib cage. Pull. It's lifting. I'm coming higher. I'm coming higher. And then go ahead and lose your ball, right? Does that make sense? So that's what we're looking to do. When you do this, it is one of the, I want you to just think, just anatomically, how the body mechanics. If I'm lifting this way, what's going to happen to my low back? It's going to widen. It's one of the best things because what happens in our low back is we compress it. We do stuff that makes it tighten, right? We stand maybe in posture that has a little bit more of a curve here, okay? We bend down and we work and we're using just these little tiny muscles. Use the pelvic floor. Become so good at that, okay? You'll be amazed at what happens. All right. Let's do our feet. Let's get back to it. So we're going to practice a couple times. Come to the edge of your chair. So you're going to sit. So right, your sit bones are there. It is easier to do this if you're having to pull up and you've got some air going on there, right? So it just is easier. You're still rolling through the ball of your feet. Okay, we're going to try to practice this while we're doing other things. 2 things at once. Okay, so inhale. And as you exhale, pull and lift the pelvic floor up, but still move your foot. And then release. And then take a normal breath. So part of this work is called bandhas or bandhas. Okay, that means lock. It's a pelvic lock. Okay, we also have an abdominal one. We have a neck one. We've worked on those. Okay. When you hook them all together, it's another kind of a lock. So we're working on all of those. Those are some of the internal muscles that help our spine, help our movement. Okay, so if you found a place underneath your foot that's a little tender, stay. Try and spread the toes. Whatever you're doing, try and spread through those toes as wide as they can be. So notice that we talk a lot in yoga about spreading, widening, right? Yeah. Because most of our life now does this, right? Most of what we do, gravity affects us. We get busy doing the same thing over and over. I met someone this past week. Their job is at the end of a sewing line. For 5-6 hours a day, they stamp the thingy on the back. That's their job. So it's very repetitive. Very. And she's starting to have back aching, and I'm like, what can we do, right? So go ahead, change the ball to the other foot, find some places, and find the pelvic floor again. You're like, what? Notice that your foot likes to stop. Try to keep it rolling. Inhale, sit up tall as you can. Exhale, feel the pelvic floor lift. Pull it up towards, I don't know, can it come out your throat? Can you get it that high that everything is working, tightening, and then release. Beautifully done. Notice your back after you do that. Just do a little bit of cat-cow. You'll feel that the back has worked. You'll also feel a warmth. And that's the increased blood flow. Find a place that's maybe tight, maybe a little sore. Breathe to that area. Go ahead and spread through the toes. Remember to do that. That's just going to be a new habit. Okay, that's what we're trying to create, is some new habits here. And then go ahead and you can put your ball away. Just back behind your blanket's fine. Grab your block. We pretty much will do feet every class. Ball of the foot on the edge of the block, heel drops down, okay? Not only is this some of the best stuff for our knees, and our knees take an awful lot of our strain, okay? But they also, go ahead and roll through the ankle. The feet also support us. We know through reflexology that the foot, every organ in the body has a pressure point into the foot. I don't know if you've ever had a chance to have a foot zone. It's one of my favorite things, but I remember my very first one. She's like, 5 seconds on my foot. She's like, what's going on with that right hip? Okay. Go ahead, come up as high as you can. Go ahead and even let your knee move a little bit more forward. High as you can. High as you can. High as you can. Can you lift that hip off the chair, moving it forward, moving the shin forward, up high, and then come back. The tailbone or the sit bone roots first, and then find the heel rooting. We're going to do one more of those. Reach it up, lift up, come up as high as you can. Inhale, can you find the pelvic floor on the exhale? Lift, and then push down with the sit bone, grounding down with the heel. We want to ground. We want that grounding motion, because what's the opposite of the grounding motion? This. That opposition is there. Okay, and then release. Go ahead and just roll through. Lift your knee. You're going to come up here. We're going to fatigue the thigh a little bit. So if you start to feel it, it's okay. Make great big circles. Find range of motion. Okay, if you're just right here, see if you can go a little bigger. Yeah, let the leg come out to the side. We're just finding range of motion. Anybody's quads starting to grab, saying, excuse me, you're working me. Anybody get a little hip? Yep, that's okay. And then plant it, come back to here, lift the hip, round down, round with the heel. Let yourself lean forward. You're going to notice a little bit different. There's a warmer sensation through that leg. And then go ahead with yourself leaning forward. Would you please do a cat-cow? Rounding up, coming down, rounding up. Now we're going to add the pelvic floor here. I know Inhale, lift. Exhale, release. Inhale, lift. Pelvic floor is lifting too. Notice that we've done some where we exhale and pull it up.
Yeah.
Some where we don't. Okay? And then release. There you go. And wiggle it out. Pause. How does this side of the body feel? From about here down, it's just like this tingle and warm. It's beautiful. Change sides. Find that foot, spread through those toes. At any possible, come a little closer, wider, yeah. At any possible time, how did you get such a big block, you two? You got the big ones. You got the big ones.
No wonder I'm having a little.
What can I used to be able to get that down? I have some.
We're overachievers.
You wanted more of a challenge for me.
So they are, and they do have bigger blocks. Look how much longer they are. So they are a hell. They're higher. Yeah. So spread through those toes and reach that heel down. Reach, and then come up. Find that circle in the ankle. Push it down. Find the heel, root. Yeah. Spread through those toes. And then come all the way up. Here we come for our exercise. Come up as high as you can. Start to lift. Let the whole hip lift, pushing this forward while you do so. Okay? Then you're going to ground down with the sit bone. It goes into the chair, into the blanket, and then the heel pulls down. So we're just practicing grounding. Okay? Come back up. We're going to do one more without our breath, without our pelvic floor. Lift. See if you can get it up. And then pull down, ground, sit bone first, and then this. So when we sit and we tuck our tailbone and we come couch potatoes, just do this. Kind of tuck your tailbone under because that's where it usually is. Try to ground down. Feel how hard that is to do? I mean, you can kind of do it a little bit, but it's not. That's why sitting up straight is so important. Right here, take that pelvic floor, just take the sit bones and ground them into the chair. You can feel that. And notice that it goes into your heel. It doesn't ever just stop. That's this amazing body, okay? You can say, I'm just working one body part. You're never just working one body part. All right, with our breath, okay? So inhale, come up, lift this up, inhale, lengthen. Exhale, as you ground down with the sit bone, feel the pelvic floor start to lift. Continue to pull, reach the heel down, but you're pulling up. We're literally going like this. You can feel that. And then release and wiggle. We're going to do one more of those, okay? This, I know, this is hard. It took more than one class for me to get it. It was even hard. It is hard. One more. Come up. Lift the sit bone as much as you can, right? That might not be very far for you. It's okay. Ground. Take an inhale. Lengthen. On the exhale, feel the pelvic floor lift as you push down into the sit bone first and then into the heel. And I'm still lifting up. I'm not holding my breath, but I'm lifting up. I'm pulling. That particular thing can happen, the pelvic floor lifting, while we still breathe. And release. So, incontinence, sexual activity, elimination, all affected by this. Okay? As we age, anyone I had my grandmother who had to wear diapers. Okay? This will help. Kegels will help with that, okay? This will help. So just this kind of motion, okay? It's contracting, it's uncontracting. Releasing.
Put it in the dictionary.
Yeah, exactly. What's the opposite of? No, anyway. So really good done. Okay, find just some hip range of motion. So homework, okay, and I always put this when I type. It's usually not up. It'll be up today a little earlier because I'm going to try and learn how to take that and post it on Facebook and Instagram so that it's there. Because I've asked teachers to do that. I need to do that myself. So finding that range of motion, go ahead and go out and back in. This is homework for this week. Every day, will you do the pelvic floor lifting? We'll continue to do some, but yeah, find that and then release. Yeah, wiggle it out. Beautifully done. Just shake, okay? Stretch up. Go ahead, and we're just gonna really quick do one of these and then get on our, okay? If you are one that it's like, this was a slow class for me, okay? If you're one of those, I understand because I am. Go ahead and take. It's gonna come up to where you can, up here. As high as you can get it, okay? You are going to try to move the arms so that they're alongside your ears. You might not have that range of motion, okay? If you don't, oh, Michelle, sorry. I didn't even see what you were doing. So she's walking around. You can bend your elbows a little if you need to, okay? But you're really trying to draw. I'd like to feel, I've got glue on the back of my head. I've got glue on this part of the shoulder. I've got glue on the back of my hands. And they're all going to the wall behind me, okay? That's the feel. And then you're just gonna pull. You're not going very far. And release, and pull, and release. Yeah, you're trying. Now, to get it's not worth doing it to do this. To get okay, that's a cheaty way. So if you need to be here, you're fine here. And if you start to get the tingle and your shoulder starts to, or there's some pain, come out, roll through, right? Come back up. You are just going there. It may be versus glue, it's a magnet because a magnet can just pull, right? So you're just trying to feel, maybe the shoulder blades go, but the head won't. Maybe the head goes really easy, but the shoulders don't. Maybe it's the hands that go easy. Okay, you're trying to get all three of those pieces. Pull it wide, hold for just a moment, breathe. Now, pull your pelvic floor out. What? Inhale, lengthen. As you exhale, lift the pelvic floor even higher. Notice what happens to the low back as you do this. And gently release, come all the way back down. Roll your shoulders. Okay, I don't know about you. In my new house, there's a top shelf. I want to still be able to reach, and I have to take my big long tongs, and I have to go up with the tongs and pull stuff down and bring a stool in, right? So come here again. Grab, inhale, lengthen. Pull up the pelvic floor and then pull this wide. Breathe. Pelvic floor is still trying to lift. Now, we're going to take a few twists. It doesn't matter which direction you go. Keep a slight bend in the elbows. Twist. Try to keep your knees straight. Inhale. Exhale. Go ahead and try to pull the pelvic floor up. Release. Inhale. Try to pull the pelvic floor up. Release. Inhale. Try to pull the pelvic floor up. And release. Beautifully done. Okay, go ahead. Come around to the back of your chair. Find length in the spine. I don't know about you, but this is one of my favorites. It's like my body goes, oh, thank you, thank you, thank you. I hope you're doing this every day. This has been homework a lot. Go ahead and come up a little bit. So if you look at me, my head, I am not rounded though, okay? I am trying to lengthen, okay? Bend your knees. And then I'm gonna try to bring my head down and lift it back up. Try to bring the head down and lift it back up. Try to bring the head down and lift it back up, beautifully down, and then walk up. Notice if you've been holding your breath. When I hear this, I know that breath has been held. Go ahead and go back. Inhale here. Exhale, hold with bent knees. Inhale up a little bit. Exhale. Now, try to do the pelvic floor here. Inhale, lift. Exhale, release the pelvic floor. Inhale, lift it up. Exhale, release it. Inhale, lift it up. We got 2 more. Exhale, release it. Inhale, lift it up. The pelvic floor is lifting up. Exhale, release. Now, last one. Inhale up. I'm sorry, I didn't count very good. And exhale. And then round through your spine. Ooh, walk it in. And roll through your shoulders. Okay. So, which do you prefer? The inhale, exhale with the pelvic floor, or the inhale, pull up the pelvic floor on the exhale? Do you have a preference?
It's easier when I inhale.
It's easier when you inhale to pull the pelvic floor up. Okay. Notice that. Because, okay, the inhale and the exhale is our normal muscle movement. Okay. Try it just with the pelvic floor. Inhale, lift, exhale. You can't show this, right? It's inhale and exhale. It's inhale and exhale. I'm feeling jellyfish and it releases. I'm feeling a jellyfish and it releases. Totally fine to do it that way. I want you to try one more time on the exhale, lifting, okay? Inhale, normal. On the exhale, start to pull up with the pelvic floor. I get a stronger pull here, okay? And then release. There is a little bit of a hold of the breath. It's called a kumbhaka. It's totally fine. It's natural, okay? So I want to do the kumbhaka. Let's do one more. Inhale. Go ahead and exhale audibly. And then start to pull the pelvic floor up. And hold. And release. Yeah? Good. I saw it. I saw it in your faces and in your necks. If watch here, this is what you will look for, okay? Inhale. Exhale. It starts to hollow out. I can see it. Yes. And release. Okay? So those are locks. Those are called bandhas. Okay? Bandha just means lock. And sometimes I've heard of bandha, I've heard of bandha. Same as Shavasana and Savasana. Craziness. Okay, so here in your down dog, this is also going to be homework. Okay, so you've got 2 homeworks. Move those, rotate through the hips, and find a countertop or a chair that you can put your hands on. The inhale, watch me for a sec. You won't be able to see anything happen, except maybe right here. Okay, the inhale is here. The exhale. And then pull up with the pelvic floor. And then release. Inhale and exhale. Pull up with the pelvic floor. And release. So you're not going to see it, but you're doing it in that position. Okay? Does that make sense? Bend your knees a little bit. Even more, Gilbert, on the knee bend. Yeah! Inhale. Find that length. Exhale. Pull the pelvic floor up. Yeah. And release. Inhale. Exhale. Pull the pelvic floor up. And release. Okay. Now, go ahead and walk in. So, the other thing I want you to just notice, close your eyes. How does this pelvic area feel, including the low back? When I do this work, my low back loves me. It's like I can do anything down. There's no tenderness, there's no strain, there's even the work, it just feels good, okay? So just start noticing. Let's move. Inhale, sweep it up.
Exhale, plant the hands, move back. There's that exhale. Pull the pelvic floor up, release it, walk it all the way back in, inhale, and exhale. Okay, so that's going to be the exercise. Inhale up, exhale, come back. Inhale, pull the pelvic floor up, release the pelvic floor, walk it in as you inhale, exhale, let it go. One more, inhale, exhale. Pull the pelvic floor up, release it, inhale, walk it all the way in, and exhale. Beautifully done. So today we are going to do Shavasana in the chair because I want you to feel what that feels like. But come here for just a moment, bend your knees, okay? If it's your right leg you're taking your hand to, it's your left hand. If it's your left leg you're taking your hand to, it's your right hand. You have choices here, okay? This is when the blocks come in handy, the big ones, okay? When you're here, you can also come to here and put a hand, but it's opposite. But you're trying to grab, you're going to bend both elbows and let the head hang. Okay?
You're finding a twist.
Yeah, opposite hand. There you go, yeah. So there you grab the outside of that right thigh. Outside of the right thigh. Oh, with that, you have the right knee. Oh, yeah, we're going. Now bend both elbows. Bend them. Try to get down underneath those elbows. Yes, it's an inversion. And come all the way out. Walk in. Okay. What the freak, Deb? Okay, try it again, other side. Watch. If you don't have to go clear back here. Clear back here is going to be harder. Come here, bend knees. Both elbows are bending. I'm getting my body down and letting that head hang. When's the last time your head just hung? Would you shake it no? And nod it yes. Yeah, breathe. Bend that left elbow significantly. Try to lift it up to the ceiling. Yeah, and come back out. Walk it up. Wiggle through. Is that okay on the ribs? All right. Here we go. We got 3 more of these. Here we go. Inhale. Fine, we got both sides to do. Okay, one side first. Bend the elbow, see if you can lift it up. Get your body to twist. Maybe the head can hang. You can shake it no. And nod it yes. And then you come up. Take a breath. You can step in or you can go right to the other side. And you can come lower with your hand. If this up on the thigh would feel better to have it down lower, bring it down lower. We are just revolving the body. Yes, inhale. And release. Come all the way back in. You're okay.
It feels good, Debbie. It feels good.
When you come up, you're kind of like, what? You are.
I feel like it's fascinating.
I understand the spastic feel. Okay.
It's good for us to feel spastic every so often.
Go again. Come back down. Find whatever. Bend the elbows. Notice if the twist deepens. If you find you have more range of motion, take a deep inhale. Come out. Go to the second side, or come in, take a break, and then go to the second side. You choose. Yeah. If you want to go right into the other side, you are welcome to do that. Yes. Yes. Beautifully done. Inhale, release, come all the way, walk it in. Just feel. Go ahead and move the head side to side. Hanging our spine upside down. For us, headstand and inversions, handstands, they're tough. Okay? This is one of the ways we do it. Our forward folds tend to be very limited because of our tight hamstrings and our tight backs. Okay? So that's what we're creating. Not only a twist, but an inversion. Last one. Bend your knees. That helps your hips. Grab a hold of whatever you choose. Find your twist. Revolve that spine. Take some deep breaths. Inhale, release. And you can walk in and then walk back out, or you can go right to the second side. Yes. See if you can lift that left elbow or the elbow that's on the chair. That hand. Yeah. That lift of the elbow, remember it's attached to the rib cage. It actually creates, and then come all the way out. Go ahead, and I want you to hold on to your chair because I want you to notice something that you're doing so fantastically amazing well. I'm so excited to see. Okay? You're going to be like, you're like this. So turn to the side. Okay? Go ahead and turn everybody this way. There you go. Would you take one, let's say the leg closest to the chair is the one that's going to step forward. Okay? Take this one back a little bit. Okay? Bend the front knee, try to keep the back leg. This is a lunge. You got that. We're going to do a twisting lunge. Okay? You've got the chair right here. Would you put both hands on the chair, please? Okay? Yeah. Beautifully done. Breathe, take a deep inhale. Can you pull the pelvic floor up on the exhale? Did you think we were done with that? And then release. Go ahead. You might have to do a little hop, step hop to get in and just turn it around. Notice what's happening. Okay? This is some of the best work we can do for our spine. Leg closest to the chair. We'll do this again. Okay? We'll do these again because I think they're so important. Come up on your back. That leg is straight, but the front knee bends. Okay? And then turn both hands to the chair. Okay? Ooh, just feel that. So because your knee, you're going to have to bring your front foot joist a little bit more forward. Yeah, you can't bend and come clear over here. That's really hard on the knee. So walk your foot more forward. Then come down. There you go. It's a little more work. Yeah. Can you inhale and pull the pelvic floor up on the exhale? So you can do both. Release it. Take an inhale. Pull the pelvic floor up. And release it. Go ahead and come back. Okay. And then find this wiggle. This wiggle that we've done. Right. Beautiful work. Come back around and sit down. Grab your bolster. You all have one. So we did our twists. I'm just going to turn that down. I like it a little quieter, light-wise. Okay. When we do Shavasana here, you have some options. If you feel like getting, you've got short legs. I know short legs. That's what I have. Grab a block. Put it underneath your feet. Yeah.
Oh, we're here.
Yeah. Use your big one. Use your big one.
Yeah.
Mm-hmm. Sylvia, I'm going to give you mine. You've got the short legs too. There, this is a little longer. There you go. You don't have to use this, but I've put yours. I've got a couple aunts, my mom, some cousins. Okay, so here we are, right on the edge. Okay, grab your bolster. This just brings the floor up higher. Why not? Pull this as close as you can. You might have a belly, you might have boobs, they might get in the way. It's okay. And then lift yourself up and ooh. Does that just feel yummy on your low back or is it just mine? Do you need a firmer bolster, Gilbert? You've got a squishy one.
She needs. I have a short.
Well,
I have a short back. She's that short.
yeah, better.
I think so.
You think so? Okay.
Okay.
Yeah, it opens you a little more, okay? Now, Michelle, if you want to go totally, guys, the option is always available. Here. if that's a part of your practice. That's a little more intense. It's not quite as restful. And your hands, the hanging of the hands is the issue when you do it this way. Okay, so Larry, I want you to have something on your lap,
What?
your bolster, on your lap.
Oh, that.
Okay, up and over. Now, if you find your hands start to tingle, mine always do, I go like this and I cross them and let the elbows.
No, that's good.
Make sure you can breathe. Breathe into that low back. Feel the sensation.
I have it in the edge.
Move your block more forward, Larry. It's too close to your chair. There you go. Yeah, that's going to be a little better. Make sure that every day you find an opportunity to pause. This is like a vacation from thinking, from feeling, from paying attention. Our bodies need this vacation. Note if it's hard to hold still, or if it's easy. And you're like, Debbie, you're asking me to think, but I'm on vacation. So go back on vacation. Deepen your breath. Inhale, expand. Exhale, contract. One more time of our pelvic floor. Inhale. Exhale audibly. On the next inhale, pull the pelvic floor up. And on the exhale, release it. Inhale. And on the exhale, pull the pelvic floor up. And release it. Notice that this is a harder place to access. And then gently begin wiggling and moving. Maybe you bring your hands to the bolster, roll through shoulders, push into the bolster. In my opinion, this is totally doable, but it's not ideal. Ideal Shavasana is on our backs or on our sides propped. But really well done. Bring your hands to your heart center. Do you remember your mantra? I am whole. I am healing. So hum. It's all that. I see your light. I see your goodness, your greatness, your divinity. And I bow to that. Namaste.
Namaste.